Welcome to the Trecena of Ah. Over the next 13 days, January 26th through February 7th, we are going to go through a count of 13, known as a Trecena in the Mayan Cholq'Ij count of time. And today I'll be weaving in Western tropical astrology to get a holistic view on what the cosmic weather has in store for us. So while we're diving into the Trecena of Ah, we are getting deeper into Aquarius season in astrology. If you're new here, hi, my name is Samantha and I run Hands of Mercury. I'm a professional astrologer and ceremonialist. I've been dedicating myself to these spaces for the better part of the past decade, adding in Mayan Cosmovision over the last few years through visiting Guatemala and meeting my teachers. I am devoted to these ancestral observations, and through my offerings, my mission is to empower you to affirm your own intuitive nature, to come back into alignment with the cycles of nature and the cosmos, and to facilitate more personal and collective healing of the spirit, and coming back into relationship with the Mother Earth. So the tropical astrology calendar is a 12-month calendar or cycle. We cycle through 12 signs. And the Mayan Cholq'Ij count of time or calendar runs a little bit differently. It is a ceremonial and spiritual calendar, and it is a 9-month calendar, a 260-day calendar, where we move through cycles of 13 in conjunction with cycles of 20, so 13 times 20. And we are working with 20 nahuales or chumilab, stars, essences, aspects of source or spirit. And so when we're working with the Trecena, a 13-day period, we are working with that energy of the first day throughout the Trecena. It acts as a lunar force or a subconscious force throughout the next 13 days. And then each subsequent day, we have a conscious or solar aspect with the following Noal. So we'll be layering in what's going on with astrology as well. And I will sometimes point out that there are these beautiful synchronicities between the Noales and the energies of some of the zodiac signs and the crossovers that they share. We have two different civilizations thousands of miles away, yet they are both observing nature and observing the night sky and the cosmos. So it's beautiful to see some of those synchronicities that pop up. And that's why I like to share the weaving of these two to get a really holistic view of what is coming our way and planning for more ritual, planning for ceremony, planning for days that might be more intense or days that might be more auspicious and easeful. With that, I'd like to start with an invocation and prayer as we open up the space to work with these energies. So if you would, please close your eyes, take a nice deep breath and get centered, and add in your prayer, your moment here to take in and receive what you need and leave the rest. Calling upon the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth, please be here with us today as I open myself as a sacred channel and messenger. Calling upon the celestial bodies we'll be speaking with: Father Sun, Grandmother Moon, Mother Earth, Divine Messenger Mercury, Sacred Lover Venus, Sacred Warrior Mars, Divine Guide Jupiter, Father Time Saturn, Great Liberator Uranus, Cosmic Dreamer Neptune, Lord of the Underworld Pluto. Thank you for sharing your archetypal essence with us and your guidance with us. Thank you to the wisdom keepers and those who pass down the ancestral observations and the information of pattern tracking and taking in cosmic wisdom so that we can still be guided today. Calling in our beautiful Nahuales that we're going to be working with over the next 13 days. Thank you, Abuelo for guiding us, and may we stand strong like the reed cane and the cornstalk, and in your virtues. Calling upon Kaish, Oshisikim, Kahe Akmak, Ho no, Waki, Bihash, Gawak, Washaki Ahpu, Belehe Imosh, Lahu Ik, Hulahu Akawal, Kablahu Kat, Oshlahu Gan. Thank you to the Maya tradition. Thank you to the Popol Vuh. Thank you to the Achki, the spiritual guides that are wisdom keepers of the fire and of the corn and of the traditions here and the ancestral observations, so that we are gifted with this beautiful sacred calendar and count of the Cholq'Ij. And may I speak upon the Noales with integrity and respect and share what they have to offer us in these next 13 days. Thank you to both my astrology teachers, the many people who have written books and shared online that I have learned from, and as well my Mayan teachers, Tata Izaias, Nana Izabel, Tata Walter, who I have had the opportunity and privilege to learn from and have this wisdom transmitted through. Gracias and mal Dios. Let's talk about Ach. This is the chumil that will be guiding us over the next 13 days. The Nawal of Ach is the armadillo, and it also is signified by the corn stalk and the reed cane. Both, as we know, are tall and straight plants like the spine. And there's a special connection between Ach and Khan is the snake, and it also has the Kundalini energy. So Ach and Khan share this connection of needing to develop that energy of the life force and the energy that moves through the spinal column. So we can also see in the human body the closest connection to the cornstalk or the reed cane would be our spine that keeps us standing tall and straight. So my teacher, Tata Izaias, has shared with me that is represented by the direction of the west. It is in the correspondence of the earth element. And also in the tree of life, is the present day. It's the trunk of the tree. If the roots are the underworld and our ancestors, and the branches, the leaves, the fruit are the future, the descendants, is that tall tree trunk that we need to stand tall and firm in the present day. And so this Nawal is really interested in community, in family, in leadership, and in living life according to its values and really being rooted in honesty and integrity. So, this energy relates in many ways in my book with astrology to Virgo and Capricorn, right? This earthy way of living life. With Virgo, there's a sense of really having to fine tune your day in and day out living, your rituals, your routines that keep you on track, that keep you organized, that keep you in connection with your path and your path of service specifically. As well, with that connection with Capricorn, there's this essence of Saturn that comes through with right? There's an essence of diligence. And with as well, we think about having a tall and straight spine and having a firmness of the tree trunk so that when the winds of change are sweeping through, we are standing tall and firm. So these are lessons that come with when the crowd may be going against you or there is the chaos of change. We need leaders who can stand firm, who can stand tall, who can stand against fear and panic, and as well make decisions that sometimes disappoint others, right? Like standing straight in your morals and values and not bending to the will of a trend. The other connection between and Saturn is the agricultural connection. So Saturn was traditionally an agricultural god, and we can see that with the Sith symbol that Saturn carries. So you reap what you sow, and life and death can very much hang in the balance with if you have a good harvest or not, at least in olden times. And so in the same way, is connected to the sowing of the milpa, the cornfield. And this is very significant because corn is a main staple in the Maya tradition. And again, if you have a hard harvest, then that affects the whole community and can even affect the morals and virtues of people if we are now dealing with hunger. Again, there's this connection here of reaping what you sow and doing things with intentions and ethics and honesty and diligence. As we know, Saturn also rules Aquarius, which is the season that we are currently in astrology. So, in this season as well, we have this conscious focus on the group consciousness, the organization, the associations, the alliances. And so, under this Trecena of we have the opportunity to pray and make offerings for the strengthening of our families, of our communities, and as well our global community. I also see under this Trecena an opportunity to really give prayer forward for our leaders. And more than ever, we need leaders who are coming in who have the essence of that are not going to be whipped around by the winds of greed, of bribery, of short term solutions that are just band aids for long term problems to arise again, right? So, this is a time to really make an offering to the earth, to be in an energy of prayer and intention and focus, that the leaders we have today and the leaders that are coming in for tomorrow be driven by a higher consciousness, by a higher set of morality, values, and ethics that are in congruence with where we're going as a global community, in our smaller communities, and how we want to see the world be treated, the earth, with more dignity, more respect, and with more solutions that are looking past just our current generation, right? Going back to an indigenous practice of looking ahead 7 generations and making decisions now that is not going to only impact us positively, but are going to be helpful in securing a better future for up to 7 generations ahead of us. Will not do that. And we even see with Saturn, there's the essence of tradition and conservation and the way things are with Capricorn. And then we see this sort of outcast or outsider energy with Aquarius, which is the way things could be. And Aquarius comes in and acts as a rebel, acts as a black sheep. They are seeing things from another perspective, usually outside, right? They're on the perimeter looking in. And so Aquarius is here to not follow the trends, to be a trend setter. And we see this both with the Leo Aquarius sister signs of needing to follow that pulse within themselves. They're going to go against the grain in some way. And so in this energy of we know that having a strong spine means standing on business, standing on our virtues, willing to not appease someone else when we know that this is a value of ours that cannot be shaken. And again, then finding the like minded people who see you, who celebrate you in the way that you see the world, right? And the way that you honor yourself and your perspective in the world. And that's also something with Saturn is judgment, the energy of judging oneself and judging others. And so that's a trap for Aquarius. They can get very rigid in the way that they look at something. And even can border on that as well, of being rigid in their values, right? So some areas we're meant to lead, and some areas we're meant to pass the baton and be led. And that is what makes for a functioning collective community, by allowing and trusting those in their expertise, in their niches, to be leaders in those areas and not have to know everything in every which way. And so it's really important that we honor our path, our unique goal, our unique aspiration that moves us forward to be a leader in the area that we've been called to in our lifetime, which you can get more information from your Mayan cross of life from on the day you were born, and as well your natal chart. Let's dive into the next 13 days. So, we just came off of a rather dramatic full moon in Leo. Now, this was an important full moon because we just had Pluto move into the sign of Aquarius. So, we're getting this activation of the moon opposite Pluto, and then as well adding in Jupiter making a T square. So, it's kind of an explosive full moon, cathartic. There's an ending. Pluto is stirring up a little bit of chaos at this time. And as well, Mercury and Mars are getting ready to conjunct. So, if you've been feeling a little restless, feeling this energy of wanting to pop off in terms of communication, maybe feeling a little bit more on the offense mode, that is due to a couple different aspects in the sky right now. So definitely take some days to just let this energy subside a bit. We'll be moving into a little bit better territory come the beginning of February. But the big news as we start this Trecena of is that Uranus is going direct. So that's another aspect here. Uranus and any planet that is stationing either retrograde or direct will sometimes make itself known on that day as it's moving and show us a little bit of their archetypal essence. So Uranus is the liberator, is the chain breaker, is the freedom maker. And so we may feel a little bit of restlessness, buzziness. We might have a moment of clarity, a breakthrough moment, a progress moment with Uranus direct, especially with the direct motion. And as well, we might have a surprise that comes in. Uranus is known to bring surprise wherever he goes. So, with Uranus moving direct, it's continuing to move through the sign of Taurus. January 27th, we welcome to Ish. Ish is our earth mother. She is the divine feminine, the magic of the feminine, and she is the jaguar, representative of the womb space. So the jaguar is revered in the Maya tradition and is an energy connected with magic and the mystic. Two is a great day to connect with Mother Earth as a sacred relationship between our bodies and the earth, and as well the relationships in our life, maybe a sacred partnership or our relationships with our mother or other feminine beings. We do have relational energy afoot in the cosmos as well. So, Mars, which is known to drive and motivate us, but also can bring some frustration, will be finally in a conjunction with Mercury. And we've been feeling this all week and we'll continue to feel this until about February 1st. And so this is a day where we may be motivated to speak on something and speak on something with gravitas, a reality check, speak in a serious tone about something that might have some long-term consequences coming up because these two are meeting in the sign of Capricorn. So it's about return on investment. It's about the facts and the figures. This is not airy fairy communication. This is getting to reality. And as well, Venus is also going to be impacted by Saturn. Luckily, in a supportive way, she's going to make a sextile to Saturn and Pisces. But when these two planets talk as well, Venus is affectionate, she's the lover, but she's meeting Saturn, who's bringing reality and structure and commitment and responsibility. So we may find some Saturnian themes moving through our relationships on this day. But as well, Saturn brings us into depth. Saturn is the glue for relationships that keeps us in relationships even in times of conflict and challenge, because conflict and challenge is inevitable in relationships. And so we need to be able to work through it and mature together, grow up together in these relationships and in conflict management and communication. So definitely take some time today to think about if there's anything that you want to get off your chest, if you want to have a constructive conversation, but as well be mindful of any anger and frustration since Mars is in the mix. And as always, connecting with the earth and the feminine and our womb space, if you're a woman on this day of Ish, is beautiful. Asking the jaguar for protection, for safe passage through our day. I think that the jaguar is very active in moving through our world right now and awakening women to their internal magic. So I always love the days of Ish when they come forward for us. January 28th, we welcome 3 Sikin. This is an active day as 3 is an energy of action. And Sikin is the sacred eagle, an intermediary between Father Sky and Mother Earth. So a divine messenger. This is also the energy of the Quetzal, the condor, the sacred hawk. So again, the messenger bird that flies high in the sky. And so on this day, we can ask for the blessing of a higher vision to see something from a higher perspective. Maybe we are too close on the ground in the thick of a situation, and let's ask and call in these birds to give us that bird's eye view, to give us a long-term vision and help to see from a different perspective, maybe where we might be blocked up. This is also a great day to ask for abundance. And Zikin rules over our material wealth and our businesses and our commerce. So if you are calling in something in that capacity, you can work with the energy of Zikin. Now, this day, we have some nice configurations in the sky. We have Mercury in a trine with Uranus, and we have Venus in a trine with Jupiter. So, Mercury and Uranus are great for brainstorming, for creative writing, for communication. Scientific ventures, exploration of research on these days. And as well, we have Venus and Jupiter meeting. These are two benefics. So when these two meet in the sky, it's really nice. And Venus brings her love and affection to Jupiter, who's in Venus's home sign in the sign of Taurus. So it's earthy, it's sensual, it's grounded, and we have a nice flowing energy between these two. We might have some positive news that comes through on this day, or just a nice encounter. This would be a great day for a little romance and fun, especially after the day before. January 29th, we welcome Four Achmak. Four is the energy of stability, the four directions. And Achmak is the honeybee and is a symbol of forgiveness. So these are wonderful days to work with if we have anything on our mind in terms of guilt, in terms of hurts that we haven't yet felt absolved of, ways that we need to ask for forgiveness of things that we've done, and vice versa. So these are really good days to clear the slate or sweeten sore spots that you have in yourself or with others or in your community at this time, right? Asking the honeybee to sweeten any situations that need more honey than vinegar at this time. So on 4 Achmak, we have Mars making a trine to Uranus now. So this also has a zippy, buzzy energy to it on this day. Mars wants to get going, and Mars is in a really nice position in Capricorn, as this is actually probably its favorite sign to be in terms of being in exaltation here in Capricorn. So it can get things done. It's motivated, it's strategic. And Uranus is just giving that lightning strike to go for it, to go farther, go faster. So we can use the energy on this day to zip around like the honeybee. Maybe a good day to get a lot of work done, get a lot of tasks done, work out. This is a great day to just move the body, get in touch with your life force energy, keep it moving and shaking. And all planets are going to be direct until about March. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but I will say we have forward momentum and movement until around the end of March. And then things are going to really slow down in the sky in April. So just a heads up to really ride the wave of momentum if you have that right now, because we will get slowed down in April. January 30th, we welcome 5 Noch. 5 Noch is about empowerment and connecting with the mind and our wisdom. Noch is the woodpecker pecking at the tree, going deeper in to find the golden nuggets of wisdom. This connects to the brain and intelligence. So, this is a day to reconnect with teachers, to reconnect with your students if you are a teacher, to reconnect with a source of text that you might be diving into, that you're learning from, researching, and really honoring the transference of wisdom that we have access to, especially in this day and age with the internet. It's really crazy. I can only think about what people even just 300 years ago, scholars, philosophers would think of how much access we have to information. It's definitely something to be grateful for. January 31st, we welcome 6T hash. Now, this is an intense day. So mark your calendars. 6T hash connects us to darkness, and it connects us to the obsidian blade that the healer uses and the warrior uses to cut away that which is infectious, rotting. So in the healing tradition, but also to cut, to harm one, to kill one. So we have to be careful with the blade of Tihash. Now, in astrology, the moon is going to be in Libra at this time and connecting with the south node. This is significant. Whenever the moon is transiting and hits that nodal point, it's a very sensitive point and connects us to the eclipses. So we are heading into eclipse season in the end of March. And when the moon connects here, it can bring up those eclipse themes. And with the south node being activated, that's going to be about drainage, loss, minimization. And you want to look to where Libra is in your natal chart. It just might be a little bit of a tender day. And then again, bring up themes that came up for you maybe this past October 2023 or the past March, April of 2023 as well, because we again had some activation of that ecliptic line here. So, with this day, this is definitely a day to release. If there's anything that you're looking to release, cut away, cut the cords on, this is the perfect day to enact that or to reaffirm cords that you've already cut and continuing to reaffirm that these are not energies, situations, people or events that you are looking to continue in your life. So, as well, if you feel called or connected to obsidian itself, sitting in meditation with obsidian can be a beautiful practice and honoring this Noel and honoring when it comes up in our days and in the count of time. February 1st, we also have a bit of an intense and transformative day. We are welcoming the energy of 7 Kawok, the awakening of the storm, the midwife, the turtle. But as well, the moon will leave the energy of the south node and Libra and move into Scorpio, where it is considered an exile. The moon doesn't have necessarily a great time in the sign of Scorpio, and immediately square off with Pluto in Aquarius. This is significant. We haven't had the moon in her place of exile squaring off with Pluto since March to June of last year. And we need to be prepared because the moon is going to square Pluto from her place of exile for the next 20 years. So we can think back to like 2021. The moon was also having some intense moon and Scorpio transits because the nodes were there. And again, the moon in Scorpio is just going to kick up a notch for the next 2 decades, unfortunately, because she'll always be in a tense dynamic square off with Pluto. So it's going to be a couple days each month where there's just this raw energy, but it is an energy that is ripe for transformation, for connecting with the ancestral realms, the spiritual realms, connecting with the shadow. So there are upsides here. And on this day of 7 Kawak, we are working with the energy of the storm, again, clearing out, making way for something new, working on the shelter from the storm, and as well, honoring that essence of the midwife that comes with Kawak, of birth. And Moon Square Pluto reminds us of that death and birth axis, the moon signifying fertility and the mother, and Pluto signifying that death, rebirth, stripping away, and transformation. So, those couple days, just giving you a heads up, we might be feeling some intense and murky vibes. February 2nd, we welcome 8 Aku. This is the energy of justice and discipline, connecting with our solar energy of the great spirit of the warrior hunter. And so we just finished up the Trecena of Aku before this Trecena of Ach. And on this day, we can again connect with that solar life giving force and our internal light, our internal sun. On this day, we have Mercury in a sextile with Neptune. So, Mercury in Capricorn is making a harmonious aspect and conversation with Neptune, our planet of dreams and non ordinary realms of consciousness, of imagination, of film in Pisces. And so this is a really beautiful day to let your mind drift into visions and daydreams and sketch, paint. If you have any sort of artistic modality, this is a great day to really connect with that and flow with Mercury and our mind and our mental capacity being in a nice connection with Neptune. February 3rd, we welcome in 9 Imosh. We wade into the mystic waters. So 9 Imosh has to do with rebirth and patience, connecting with the crocodile, the dolphin, the whale, and the sacred waters, the waters that give us life, the waters within our bodies. And this energy of Imosh also connects in the Maya tradition to Lake Atitlan, Mother Lago, Mama Lago. So if you've ever felt connected to Lake Atitlan, Imosh is a beautiful day to give gratitude and thanks to the lake. As well, we see this beautiful synchronicity. The moon still in Scorpio, but now not as much interacting with Pluto. She's past that, is going to be in a beautiful trine to Neptune. Neptune is connected to the energy of the ocean, of the collective consciousness, of the deep waters, the dreams, the mystical, the magical. So, this is a really beautiful day for connecting to the feminine essence, to connecting to the dream world, to the imaginal world, to non ordinary states of consciousness through medicine or through plant allies, connecting with the heart of the universe, unity, consciousness, unconditional love. And as well, emotion, I always say, great day to cry it out. So if you've been walled up in some emotions, emotion is a good day to just let it flow. I also will say, if anybody is watching that is connecting with their fertility right now, and wanting to conceive, there's some very good energy to this day of 9 Emosh. Just throwing it out there. February 4th is an airy day as we welcome 10 Eek. This is a day of manifestation, of action, and it works together with the hummingbird, who is a symbol of the future, of the upper world, of the descendants, and as well of the vision of purity that we have for what comes next. So that energy of connecting in that clairvoyant way, as well the connection to air itself and the breath of life. And so it's interesting, in astrology we have Mercury moving into an air sign. Mercury is going to be moving into Aquarius on this day. In modern astrology, that's considered its exaltation. In traditional astrology, no, Mercury is exalted in Virgo. However, still, Mercury enjoys being in air signs. Mercury enjoys being in Aquarius because it gets to think and formulate and conceptualize around all things research and scientific development and new ideas and alien ideas, right? Foreign progressive ideas. Also, we can think about government and politics and ideas of how society should function as well. So there's a lot of areas of play for Mercury when it's in the sign of Aquarius. Now, the only downer of this day is the moon does move into Sagittarius and squares off with Saturn. So you might feel a little bit more isolated on this day. There's kind of a suppression of feelings. So with Saturn hitting the moon, so it's a day where we're like less inclined to be in our feelings and much more inclined to be in our mind. So this is a great day to be in the mind and do what the mind does best. Let's write something down, communicate, brainstorm, look at the vision for the next quarter, the next year ahead, jotting down things that we want to change, looking at all of our software that we use. Is there anything that you need to update in your system, anything that you need to do away with? Those kinds of things, right? And then as well, honoring the breath. So Eek is always a really great day to engage in some sort of breath work practice and connect again with that sacred relationship that we have of breath and body. I also really love that breath connects us to the ocean, right? That circular breath in and out, that we can even make the sound of the ocean with our breath. So connecting us to those emotions in our body that got activated the day before on Emosh. February 5th, we welcome in 11 Acabal. Now, this is an interesting day. There is an energy of duality with this day, of polarity, of maybe even some black and white thinking. It's this way or it's that way, right? And riding the tension of the opposites. This is because of that energy of 11, which connects to resolution and as well to choice. And then we have the energy of Akabal, the sunrise, the sunset, the partnership, the yin and the yang, the dusk. This is symbolized by the bat as well, the bat that comes out at dusk, letting us know that night is coming. So the Nawal is the sacred bat, and we can connect with the bat on this day. Now, why is this also bringing the darkness on the astrological side? That's because Mercury, having just moved into Aquarius, is now making a conjunction with Pluto, Lord of the underworld, death, rebirth, and chaos. So here's where the intensity of our thoughts can come up, communication that wants to dive deeper, that wants to reveal something. So we may see secrets being revealed, something coming out in the shadows. A lot of times when Mercury and Pluto even meet up, we might see something come up in the news. Something that had not been revealed about a story is now coming to light. So that's always interesting to watch in the news when Mercury and Pluto meet up, right? Because Mercury also rules over communication and broadcasting a message. Both Mercury and Jupiter do. So, with this day, just take care. Pluto is getting activated again, and Pluto does like to bring some intensity. So does Acabal. I would even say Acabal and Pluto share some similarities and relationships that we have to honor the night and the shadow to truly enjoy the light and the day. February 6th, we welcome 12 Kat. This is the energy of understanding with our grandmother spider. Ga'at signifies the spider's web as well as the fisherman's net. So there is an energy of life and death here, right? We are capturing creatures, we're capturing our prey in the net or the web, but this is also what sustains us in life. And the spider creates art with her web. As well, in the Mayan tradition, Ga'at is that web that connects us, those invisible strings that connect each and every one of us, our sacred contracts of meeting each other. And so these webs not only extend just to us who are living, but they extend to our ancestors, to those who are in the unseen realms as well. So we're all part of this incredible, intricate tapestry and web of life. And as well, this energy talks about entanglement. So sometimes we get entangled in the wrong things, in drama or in a path that's not really ours, but somehow we've gotten into a group where things are getting out of hand. And so these are great days to untangle ourselves. We can even kind of call in the energy of Tihash, right? Grandmother spider, please cut us away and unentangle us from these areas of drama or distraction that are not really serving us at this time. As well, in a more modern interpretation, Ga'at can be signifying of our web that we have through our media. So that web that we're creating through social media tools. And especially for those who maybe use that as part of their business or their offerings or their mission, these are great days to call in Grandmother Spider and ask to please bring forward your soulmate clients, to bring forward the people that you need to be connected to, the people, places, events, opportunities that you need to be connected to. Because sometimes it takes meeting someone online, and we have that gift now of meeting more like-minded people, especially those of us who are in that conscious and spiritual space, to meet people online and connect all over the world. So you never know who you can connect with, and Grandmother Spider wants to connect you with people who make you feel free rather than make you feel entangled. So on this day, the moon will be making a beautiful connection to Jupiter. So the moon will have just moved into the sign of Capricorn. And when she connects with Jupiter here, this is flowing, it's harmonious. We have the moon, the body, the fertility, the emotional world being connected with Jupiter, the bringer of gifts, of faith, of optimism, and silver lining. So it's grounded. They're both in earth signs, but there's a sense of optimism about this day. So I like that. February 7th, we come to the end of the Trecena. We welcome in 13 Khan. This is the energy of ascension, connecting with the sacred feathered serpent. Quetzalcoatl, Cuculcan, Cucumats. Intense vibes on this day. 13 is a potent energy, right? It's the ending of the Trecena, and ascension is about connecting with that higher realm, with the unseen realm. Khan is connecting with our sexual energy, our life force energy. The snake, the serpent of wisdom, cosmic consciousness is connected with Khan. So this is a day of power, of connecting back to the power that lives within you, to the power of that electricity that you have within yourself that moves through your spinal column, right? So there's a connection between Khan and that we see in the Mayan tree of life. Khan is the conception energy of and then again ends the Trecena here. So as well, this is a day to really connect with where you are putting your life force energy, right? Again, are you using your life energy to create and to bring things forward and to be in ethical alignment with your internal values? Or are you using your life force energy, your sexual energy to manipulate, to charm, to seduce in ways that are distracting or ways that might be causing harm, whether consciously or unconsciously? So that's something to check in with on this day. As well, on this day, we have actually kind of a synchronistic transit from astrology. We have Mars, who is connected to that raw sexual energy, drive, action, motivation, willpower, the warrior, in a harmonious sextile to Neptune in Pisces. So Neptune is bringing this dreamy quality, is bringing us into that non-ordinary state and connects us with the mystical vision. So connecting that life force energy with the energy of the mystic on this day. I like this. This is a good pairing for Khan on this day. Definitely take note if anything comes forward on an intuitive level. It feels like a very intuitive day. As well, we have the moon in a conjunction with both Venus and Mars on this day. So again, some relational energy. Dare I even say some sexual energy afoot on this day. So for those of you who are in partnership, who are dating, maybe planning a time around this day to merge, to come together, to connect in intimacy. I think that this is supported on this day. So the moon conjunct Venus is going to be really nice. We love when these two planets come together. It's very nurturing, affectionate. Now they are in that realm of Capricorn, so it's a little more grounded. It's a little more factual, maybe not so much as sensual as it could be, but it's still coming together and bringing some affection and harmony. So I really like that for the ending of this Trecena. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this has been insightful. I hope this is helpful for you in planning the days ahead to bring more consciousness, mindfulness, and awareness of working with the cosmos and working with nature. And in this Aquarius season, we find ourselves in a rather potent one as Pluto just moved in. If you are interested in getting your natal chart read or your current transits, you can find me at handsofmercury.com. I have availability on my scheduler. And as well, if you're interested in a Mayan tree of life reading, getting to know the energies at play, the Nahuales that look over you because of the day that you were born on, please reach out to me. I can give you recommendation to work with my teacher, Tata Izaias of Lavalove Cacao, as well as a few other practitioners in Guatemala. Thank you so much again. I hope you have a lovely next roughly 2 weeks. We'll be back on February 8th to talk about the Trecena of Quaicain, and that will move us into the Mayan New Year. So we're having the restarting of the agricultural calendar called the Ab, and we work here with the Trecenas with the calendar of the Cholq'Ij calendar, or the Cholq'Ij count of time. And so there is a guardian of each year, and we're cycling out and ending a year connected to 11 which has been all about choices, recommitting or shifting quite dramatically on our sacred path, since the wildcat is the guardian of our sacred path. So many people have found themselves at major crossroads or making very significant changes in the direction of their path. And now we are coming into 12 Noh. So an energy of understanding and wisdom. So now, after many of these changes that have been afoot, I think we're going to get some wisdom as to why we've had to shift and pivot and go through, for many of us, big changes of death and rebirth, of loss and regeneration this past year in 2023 especially. So I would so appreciate if you would like this video, comment below, tell me if you resonated with what's shared here or what you have going on for this upcoming Trecena. As well, you can find me on Instagram. I have a bi-monthly email newsletter you can subscribe to where I talk more in depth about each new and full moon. I'd love to connect more.